Welcome to Spursvision TV. This is our first, and I'll call it the introductory episode, right? Of bringing our midweek specials now, right? This is the first time Spursvision TV is doing the midweek show, and all this is actually inspired by my good friend over this side. Yeah, I can do it now. This side, yeah, Saikat, right? Saikat came up to me, and because he says usually on Sundays he's not free, and that's how he says that he's taking initiative. He wants to do a midweek show, so here we are doing the midweek show, right? Just let me go through for a while the comments. Let me see. Yusuf, big up to Yusuf. Yusuf, he put this message quite some time back, and we have THFC Curse here. Hi, Curse. If you want to join us, I will send you the link if you want to, Curse. Right? And Saika, I haven't seen you a long time since that first episode that you joined us, right? And it's so good for you to reach out to me and for us to start the show. And first thing first, have you taken your dinner?
No, actually it's around 6:30, I guess, right? 7 p.m.
7 p.m. now, yeah. It's a bit early on your side.
Around 9 p.m. So yeah, we got time.
Yeah. So of course, I would like to say good evening to all the fans in Asia, and of course, good afternoon to all the fans in Europe and the UKs, and of course, good morning to all the fans in Americas. Right. Okay, let's get to it, Saika. Since you are the one who says that the things that we want to talk about today, right?
Yeah.
The review, we go step by step.
Exactly.
The review of the preseason. Did you watch all the matches?
Yeah, I watched every match.
Watch every match. So, what do you think of our performances? Of course, don't take into account that the first 3 matches that we played were more or less against very lower league teams and all that. And of course, the next 2 matches we played against the Premier League teams. Okay. Let's go to the first 3 matches first against the lower league teams. How do you feel that how do you feel our performance there? We start with the Colchester match first, right? No, Leighton Orient match first. Leighton Orient match first, yeah.
So yeah, it was a lovely goal for the Dane Scarlet, right? It was lovely take on and lovely finish. So yeah, beautiful through ball by Lucas Moura. So yeah, like Lucas is looking very good in this, right? Good evening, guys. Yeah. So Lucas Moura was very good, in this preseason 4. So yeah, it all started back then. So yeah, I think Dane Scarlett is a very intelligent player. His movement, when as the preseason got progressed, right? I think his opportunity got lesser and lesser because Son came into the action, and rightly so, because we need a fit player to just start and spearhead our attack, right? Because Kane is unavailable. So yeah, and also the things revolving around Kane will come back to later. But yeah, so that's how I think I am pretty much confident, and I think Dane Scarlett has been massive. He's been looking sharp and a huge potential. And Oliver Skip, some of his long passing range is just out of this world. Fantastic, right? And also Nile John. Nile John was fantastic on that day. So yeah, it pretty much looked solid. And yeah, CCB also looked solid against the League 2 and the League 1 sides. So I think, kindly we can get a deal around 5 million. So I just saw on Twitter that I rightly check each and every time, right? So yeah, Newcastle are interested, I guess, because they lost, I think, on some of the players they're also looking. I'm not sure about the name, but yeah. So I think Newcastle is one of the main prospect for the CCB to move on, and tightly so. We have to move on because 23 is the proper age, I guess, around with 1 year left on his contract, and I think we can definitely move on.
Yeah, and we drew that match. If I'm not mistaken, we drew it later on 1-1, and that match was more or less a fitness kind of regime for the boys to run out, and a lot of the youth was played during that match, right? So because most of the time our first teamers were back.
Another person this was very fantastic. His name is Pastowski. He is the right back, right? He was very good throughout the youth.
Yeah. And of course, when you come back to the MK Dons game, we won 3-1.
I think after that it was Colchester.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Colchester. What was the score then? Refresh me.
Colchester, I'm not sure. I think
2-0, right?
Son scored in that, and
Oh,
I
three
think
zero. Son
three
scored, Mora scored,
Mora
Ali
and
scored.
Dele Ali, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Ali
And
scored, yeah.
yeah.
So it was two
Uh,
assists on Son and one goal in the
yeah,
first 45 minutes. That's all, I guess. And then
yeah,
Troy Parrott and Dane Scarlett, everyone came into the action slightly more in the second
yeah.
match. It was, I
So
think, Son's first match post he came
yeah,
back from international duties. Yeah.
yeah. So more or less, I guess the second preseason match was more or less the same thing again. Fitness and understanding, and a lot of youth was there, and you could see actually Nuno changing the whole team at one
Yeah.
period of time. Yeah, changing the whole team at one period of time. So I guess giving the youth a run of games with some of the first teamers and changing them back and forth. I guess that's what Nuno was trying to more or less see where our youth stand. And when we came to the MK Dons game, I guess the performance went up a bit better. But of course, we did concede the goal. But I guess that goal was more or less a consolation goal for MK Dons because Dele Ali came from there. That's how I see it, right? But
I
overall, the
think we have
first
a
three,
special connection with MK Dons because we already played one match. I think where it was again against Wicom, but I'm not sure. It was a match in Carabao Cup. So there it was our home game
yeah,
in MK
yeah,
Dons.
yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
yeah.
So
But
when I
that is
remember very well,
yeah. But don't forget that was a pure competitive
yeah,
match.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But now we're going to
That
preseason. We
was
got a lot of
much
things like yeah,
fast speed only. MK Dons,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So and of course the first that's the overall preview for the first three games were more or less we are seeing the youth coming out.
Yeah.
Uh,
So generally, I
and
think for me, Pestovsky is the person. Is a
yeah,
player we definitely gonna look out. He's an RB. Another person was Nigel John. Nigel John was a fantastic player in that. And then I think Scarlett is as usual. Everybody knows him around the club. Has very high expectations around him. And most importantly, in MK Dons, Alfie Whiteman was fantastic in that match. If you
yeah,
remember the saves that he made, and I think he at within 5 minutes he considered a penalty. That also he saved, I guess. So yeah, Alfie
yeah,
Whiteman is fantastic, and I am hearing that Alfie Whiteman also there is a rumor that he will be going on loan to a Swedish
yeah,
club, top
yeah,
flight club. So
yeah.
yeah,
That's the thing. There was a rumor of Tanganga going out on loan to Galatasaray too,
but
but somehow or
I don't
another,
think so.
yeah. No, because in the end of the day, I guess whoever goes out or whoever stays, right, it still all depend on Nuno, which that is a good sign, right? Whether who he
Yeah,
wants to play where, right? Okay, now we come back to the Mind Charity games, right? The two more
yeah.
important games against the Premier League clubs. The first game against Chelsea, how did you feel about that game?
So before I start, I will say big up to the Mind Charity about what things they are doing, right? And it's very important to come up and speak if you are going through any depression and stuff. So I think it's a very huge initiative, and I think it's a good initiative, and people should come forward and should not take any rash decisions and actions on that based on their depressions. It happens. It happens with everyone. So please come out, speak. There were families. There will be friends. They will be supporting you. So yeah, so now moving on back to Chelsea, and I thought that we were outplayed. The first 45 minutes, to be honest, we were outplayed. Kante and Kovacic were just bossing the midfields. So yeah, we were outplayed, and pretty much for me, the second half was not so impactful for me because they changed a huge or rotate all the players more or less post 55 minutes, I guess. So yeah, like yeah. Anyway, we could view it, but I think Chelsea is a very good team and the top draw team nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's
Basically, I get the Chelsea match was that the Chelsea put their first team out for the first
exactly
45 to 60 minutes, and
yeah
they basically outran us and bulldozed us aside. But of
yeah yeah
course, once the changes came in, we got back into the game because we didn't make much changes. And which is one thing is good is that it shows there's some fight in the players, that Nuno is building some fight in the players, that they
yeah
don't want to lose. That is the good part, you see. And of course, after the match, it was the North London derby, right? A
yeah
lot of fans says it doesn't matter whether it's a friendly right, or whether it's you're playing in the fields, right, just as long as Arsenal or playing the park, playing the park, right, just as long as Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, the North London derby will be the North London derby, right? What do you think about that match?
Yeah, I think we were fantastic. They had some, like, we started the match fantastically well. We were sharp, we were creating chances, we were just, going through them. We were moving through the channels and everything, passing through balls. So it was good. But then we dropped off a bit around 25 minutes or so till half time. So we somehow were compact, we were defeating tight. And then I think Nuno had a discussion. I think Nuno also told us that in the post-match interview, right? That yeah, we lost a bit of momentum in the middle, but yeah, Nuno's actually most important thing in all these games were mostly in Chelsea and Arsenal. One is we are trying to finish the game well. So that's the most important part. I think that's what we lacked under Jose Mourinho era. We started the game properly, very well. We got the early goal. I think we were one of the best teams to get some goals or a goal within 10 minutes
Yeah,
of this match getting started, right? So yeah.
yeah,
So we are ending the match as well. We are looking much fitter. Okay, so I think yeah, more about it's good, and that goal was fantastic. Tanganga bossed that match. I think on the right hand side, Aubameyang
sure.
were just he was non-existent on the pitch. So
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah. So I think it's
yeah,
very good display from Tanganga, and whatever the loan options they were offering of Galatasaray, I think that's out of the books completely off. And now
sure.
I think if Nuno tries to go to that three at the back, because we are hearing of the second striker and all those rumors that will come to later in the discussion. So I think if it is 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, whatever, with two strikers up front, I think Tanganga can drop in and form that back three,
Yeah.
and Guilon can go to that wing and push. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
the
think
next the next part of yes, like the next part of discussions we'll be talking about the Nuno tactics, right? For me, what I saw in that match was very simple. Arsenal more or less came out with their first team, and they
exactly.
didn't perform too well. Aubameyang has more or less lost it, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
Aubameyang doesn't
Yeah,
have any goal in that six pre-games,
yeah, yeah.
pre-season games. So
So
he's
whether with or without preseason, they came up with more or less their first team, and we did handle them quite well. And of course, we scored the goal from Son, which was actually an assist from Tanganga. That was
yeah,
a very good, what I call, like you said, we started to assert more pressure in after the second half. We were the better team after the second half, right? And
yeah,
during those two matches in the Mind Charities, we didn't do those wholesale changes and all that. So we did maintain a certain kind of a stable core there, which is more or less now we're looking at that game. Most right, that might reflect the team that will be playing MCT for the long
exactly.
on Sunday, right? But on the overall thing, what I see is Arsenal has not improved,
Yeah,
okay, but at least we look like we are improving, okay. And of course, like
exactly.
you said, the fitness levels,
Yeah,
the understanding between the players, right? Somehow or another, how you say, Nuno now is using Mora on the left more, right? Giving him more support when he goes on his drives, when he's running through players or attacking players and all that with support. Not like when last season we played under Mourinho or Ryan Mason, you can see just Mora just take the ball, hit towards three players, and he loses the ball halfway because there
yeah,
was no support for him to do anything because somehow or another, like I said, the team wasn't a team then, right? So let's
yeah,
say we come back now. After all that, we come back to the Nuno tactics. All the matches that we saw Nuno use during the preseason was more or less a 4-3-3,
exactly.
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah. But if he puts in Tanganga there, he can more or less convert it into a 3-4-3, right?
yeah,
Or a 3-5-2.
yeah,
Yeah. So there is flexibility there, which is a good thing because in all football games, you do need that flexibility, right? The
exactly. Yeah,
changes in tactics and all that to adapt to your opponent or to go out for what I call an all-out attack or all-out defense. But for us Spurs fans, I think we will more prefer the all-out attack, right? That is the Spurs way. But the whole
yeah,
season, last season, we went into a stage where we just score one goal and sat back and let people score back again. So let's hope we don't go through that phase again, right? But The tactics, how do you think Nuno will play it out during the season?
I
Since we've
think
seen, how's it?
see, like if we find a second striker, it will be a 4-4-2. I'm not going into details about who the striker will be. Second striker in terms of the person who will be partnering Harry Kane, right? So yeah, so it will be 4-4-2 on the sheet. And as I said, Tanganga will just come back in. So we'll have a back three. Then there will be five in the middle with two. Or we can go as 3-4-1-2. So for me, suppose if I assume that Rodon starts with Romero, right? So Romero will be in the middle because that's where he fitted in Atlanta, right? So it will be in the middle because he is a no nonsense center back, right? He will be aggressive. He will move forward. So yeah, so he will be in the middle. Tanganga will be on the right, and in that case, as I heard, so we'll come back in the later stages. Maybe Tomiyasu will be coming, right? So Tomiyasu will be on the right, Roton on the middle, and then no, sorry, Romero on the middle and Roton on the right, left side of the thing, right? Then we
Yeah.
can find the back front four of that shielding the back three will be Hoiberg and Skip, or maybe Lo Celso, who will be doing the box to box thing. Okay, they will come
Mm-hmm.
back, they will defend. So that's interchangeable between them. Sometimes Hoiberg will sit down and maybe Lo Celso will go up. Sometimes Lo Celso will sit down, or maybe Hoiberg will go up, right? Because Hoiberg also has that potential that we saw in the Euro games, right? At a point, I think he has the highest assist, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a pretty good thing. And I think on the left side will be Reguilon, and the right side I think will be Lucas Moura, because Lucas Moura will also be defensively able, right? We already saw that. But
Yeah.
my problem is Lucas Moura, whatever we saw in the preseason, right? It's all about coming back or cutting back from the right side, going into the middle and spraying those through balls. I think those through balls that he's playing nowadays, it's fantastic. And the coordination he is having with Son is just excellent in the preseason, as we saw. So I think Lucas Moura will be our right wing back, and Kane will be playing our Ericsson role, right? He will come down, so he will be creating that hole in the middle and will be spraying those passes to Son and maybe Lautaro Martinez or Dusan Blahovic, who is the two. I am thinking that with Son there will be another person who will be supporting him, right? So that's how I think Nuno's tactics will be.
Yeah. But you forgot about Stevie B.
Yes, TVB also looked fine, but I think sometimes he is not looking so much effective. Okay, because yeah, he already got that goal in Chelsea. That was excellent goal. He needed that, right, to hit the back of the net of a massive, impressive display. But I don't think that he is ready to start enough in those big games, in those big matches. He also needs to prove himself. He had got talent. He had got flair and reverse speed, everything in him. It's all about the composer, right? It's like Son in the initial stages when we first signed Son. He was lacking the composer, so that he needs to build, right? So I think the composure and the final decision is lacking still, and he needs to, he needs to convince me on that
Yeah.
to get into my starting 11 as
Yeah.
of yet.
Yeah. So for me, I think the tactics at the moment now, it more looks like what Nuno needs to adapt to on the type of teams he plays, right?
Yeah,
He will see how it goes. And you just hold on, Sanska. Let me bring on one of our co-hosts.
yeah, no problem.
Hi, Jamie.
Hai, magandang gabi, Eugene,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
magandang gabi, Saikat.
Yeah.
I,
Good
I,
evening to you. Good evening to
That's
you.
a local greeting from Manila, but I'm a Londoner, so good evening, mates. How you doing?
We're fine. We're
Very
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. How was your day today, Jamie?
Interesting. Okay,
Okay.
because you know that our households has been affected by the pandemic, but been shown a lot of generosity by our friends and family. church and whatnot. So actually, ironically, I've been eating better than I have done in recent times because of the little gifts that keep arriving on the doorstep. So my dinner tonight was a beef loaf omelette with I'm not sure if they call it sagin or sabah, which is like a more like a potatoey banana, and cucumber, and laing, which is dark leaf kangkong, which is a dark leaf vegetable that you mix with coconut milk and chili and garlic, and yes, very nice.
Yes. I know. And while you're going on that, right, you're gonna make Saikat hungry.
Sorry, Saikat. Actually,
Saikat
I
haven't had
don't know
his
what
dinner yet.
I don't know what temperature it is there, but I would be sweating if I was wearing that top. As great as the emblem is on your chest.
Temperature, actually, I am currently in the air conditioned room, so it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the AC on, so it's good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay, Jamie, you were just going through the review of the preseason matches, right? And we've gone up to the Nuno tactics. Okay. So what do you think about the preseason matches?
Well, sound like Forrest Gump. Preseason is as preseason does. It's the first few games was just a run out for the kids. And really all I can say is we was lucky that Chelsea did that in the second half. And with Arsenal, neither of us can really crow about the result because both team. Actually, I saw Chris Cowlin and a Arsenal blogger on Sky, and they were basically in different words saying that they had the same aims and needs as one another. Need some central, need some new players in defense, need some in midfield, need another striker. We're about 3 or 4 players away from being where we can be competitive. So, I mean, the Arsenal lady was, but at least we've got 4 FA Cups recently to keep us heads up, So,
Yes.
but having said that, the one thing about the game against Arsenal is it wasn't amazing, but it gave me the impression that the start of the season won't be fireworks, but it's not going to be a disaster either.
So there is progression.
I wouldn't say progression, stabilization.
Okay.
And if Nuno's going to impose a more attacking team setup, as long as we get 1 or 2 more defenders in, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with Levy, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And of course, coming back to that, now we are talking about the Nuno tactics, right? So Saikai was saying more or less the players in the defense will be more or less Rodon, Romero, and Tanganga, right? But we still keep forgetting we are still stuck with Dyer and Sanchez.
Although apparently Sanchez has come back in a much more positive mood from the off season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that is just his mindset or whether his skill set has improved over the summer. So because he was in the Copa America, so maybe he's got a bit of energy in him again.
I think it's not about Sanchez has a lot more confidence nowadays, but I don't think it's had to do something with Copa America. I think whatever the news I heard or the speculation from Alasdair Gold or maybe Paulo Keefe is that because he has several clubs very much interested in him, right? So he has got that confidence in him that if I perform well, or maybe he's somewhat a pressure is off his mind right now that Sevilla is generally interestingly knocking for him, right? So I think that Kunde deal is still not off yet for us, and so I think Sanchez will be
before the season, or you think he'll be? Do you think he'll be putting himself in the shop window and making an effort until he gets signed in the January transfer window?
No, I think he will be moved before the season itself.
That's not very long. That's not very
not
long.
before the season, before the transfer window closes.
Before the transfer closes,
Yeah.
Probably
No,
next week.
But
I
the thing
think
is that
possibly Sevilla.
I
but the
think
thing,
because nowadays the next week coming up next week will be much more important in this Kunde deal, right? Because Chelsea already investing 100 and something million for Lukaku. So now and they aren't at all interested in Zuma. So they are trying to do a swap deal with Zuma included, right? And Zuma doesn't want to be part of that swap deal. So I think if Chelsea somehow get forced out of that deal, then I think Kunde is definitely on the cards because of the huge interest Sevilla holds for Sanchez.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I want Kunde. He showed himself to be a bit of a spoilt brat when he was being considered by us initially, and then went for Chelsea. So I'm not sure if it doesn't matter how skillful he is. I don't think he's got the right attitude. I think he could be another Sanchez in the sense that he would come with all the promise in the world, and then he'd be spitting his dummy out if he didn't get what he wanted. So.
yeah. No, but in the end of the day, right, if I'm not mistaken, Sevilla is actually very, very interested in Sanchez, with or without Kunde. So now it's just only the price, whether it's right or not. What is the price Levy has put on
Kunde
Sanchez?
doesn't go, then I don't think Sevilla will go for Sanchez. They can't afford. But it's highly unlikely that Kunde will stay in Sevilla this season.
Yeah.
Because
But the thing is that whether we get him or not is another question, because since now we've already got Romero, right? We are not looking more or less at Kunde. We are more or less looking at Tomiyasu, a younger version, right, to build. You see. So
but
in
I
the end of the
think
day,
Tomiyasu will be on the right back, right? We are not looking him as a centre back.
Tomiyasu is versatile. He's very versatile. He can play across the
but whatever I heard from the rumors, right? So there are very much or the video Alasdair Gold put up I think 2 days back, right? That we are looking for a leader to guide Romero, right? So I think Connor Cody and I think Lewis Dunk, these two are the pretty much rumors that I heard. So I am not sure about it that is that true or is there any truth in it. But yeah, we are not looking for similar kind of age. We are looking for someone who are Premier League proven and has got not so much value and a decent defender just to guide Romero because he is new to the country.
Yeah. But the thing is how you say now. As for the right back scenario, right, which is sometimes how you say, we already have got Jefford there, who actually can play centre back and right back, and you bring in Tomiyasu, who can actually play centre back and right back too, right? So that will more or less push out Doherty and Aurier. That is more or less what I see in what Nuno is trying to do, is that just in case if Doherty and Aurier can't do what they're supposed to do, or whether Aurier leaves, right, that will bring in the sense that maybe Jefford will go into the right, or sometimes Tomiyasu will go in the right. But guys, still don't forget, right, Tomiyasu is not a club player yet. Okay, he is still.
But I got
pending.
Saying
Pending. Yeah.
He's
still pending. For Spurs fans nowadays, we've come up with this thing, right? We will have to see him at the club in a jersey before we believe anything, because the way that the transfer window has been going is like we are linked to nearly every player in the world, right, to play in every position that you have on the field. That is the only problem, right? So, okay, come back to the Nuno tactics. Okay, Nuno tactics now, as more or less we see, it's going to be more on either a 4-4-2 or maybe a 4-4-1-1. Maybe Son plays off Kane or Kane plays off Son. Okay, let's say we are more on the attacking side. If we go more on the defending side, like you say, it could be a 3-4-3, okay, or 3-5-2. You see, but like I've said before, I do believe Nuno has that footballing brain to understand what players he has in his disposal, what are their capabilities, and how to try to improve them to bring the best out of them. At the moment, like you see, like Dele Alli, Mora, Bergwijn, they're all being given chances to do things in the preseason. Okay, but in the end of the day, crunch day comes when the season starts, and our first match is not that pretty. Okay, not that
Excuse
pretty.
me.
Not that pretty. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Got
My
you. Got you.
namesake.
Yeah. Got you. Got you.
Yeah. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Not yet. Not yet. Ding dong is coming soon. Not yet.
Yeah. Now the
Okay.
thing is, I I like the prospect of attacking football. I'm hoping that the goalkeeper's brain of Nuno will always have his keep his eye on the defense. So I'm hoping that he's going to balance the team out. Even if we don't get all the players we need, that at least he can make do with what we end up with, to the degree that we have consistency through the team.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Let's go from the Nuno tactics now. Let's go into the transfer season review.
Woohoo!
Yeah. As we know, we've signed more or less 3 players. Okay. I'll
Loans
have my
eventually signed.
I'll have my say first, right? First of all, we got Golini as more or less the backup or replacement for Hugo coming up, and a lot of people have been very impressive with his display along the way, especially during the some of the matches, especially during the Chelsea match, right?
Chelsea match.
More or less, the Chelsea match, he put up quite a good display, right? And of course, after that, during the Arsenal match, he came on after this in the second half. He came on out in the second half, and there is a potential for the future there. And of course, we've got another playmaker, left winger kind of player called Brian Hill, right? Which he was playing the Olympics all the way to the finals, in which they lost to Brazil, right? That is another potential talent, okay? And we come down to the Romero deal, okay? During the Romero deal, I was going to give credit to Levy, because all the while I've been saying that Levy won't spend more than 25 to 30 million on a player this transfer window. I was really going to give credit to him until the news came out, right? It was not a outright buyout deal this transfer window, because there was some complication to the regulations in Serie A that you cannot double sell a player in the transfer window. So we are more or less taking...
And he probably knew that.
Yes. And to tell the truth, kudos to Paratici, because he stuck to it to get the deal through. Okay. And while I was learning that, it proved my point again that Levy has not spent more than 25 to 30 million this transfer window on a player, because most probably, I guess, that deal will only kick in. We're taking him on a loan until the next transfer window comes along, with an obligation to buy, you see, which is another scary word again, obligation to buy. You know, if anything bad or wrong goes on this next 4 months before the January transfer window starts, right? Romero might be sent back to Atalanta, right? Unless it's a confirmed thing that we have to buy him no matter what happens.
It's not obligation to buy; it's option to buy.
Oh, option to buy is worse. If it's an obligation to buy, if obligation to buy, they're obligated to buy. If you get an option to buy, that means you don't have to buy him.
No, but whatever I heard Romano telling, that this option to buy is permanent, because they have already signed a contract for six years. So 1 year for the loan deal that will be going on, and another 5 years once the deal is completed, right? So that's the story coming out. Then that's the reason they were telling this. Alice Deck was also telling, right, that 2027 is the timeline for that contract. So later it came in existence. That is how the structure has been planned, and that what Romano has told in the Twitch live that he goes and do every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the option to buy, that means if it's 1 year on loan, that means that will take him into the next summer transfer window before we actually sign.
But also it depends. Like it can be like Lo Celso also, that we get him for more money if we sign in the winter. But that's a winter transfer, so that's not yet confirmed. But yeah, that's what Alex Dagold also told in his interview, in his video, that it might be the clause. So we have to look into the details, and there is some gray area in that deal that needs to be confirmed as of yet.
Yeah.
So it's
but whatever it is, he's at the club in the jersey and he'll bring the steel to the defense. Correct. But don't forget, the Premier League is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
He still has to adapt to the Premier League. Number one. Number two, there is a language barrier now because if I'm not mistaken, Romero speaks Spanish only. So more or less, we do need the communications to be right. Right. The communications to be right. 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 So say, right. Hi Adam, thanks for your support. Right. And okay, since now we've gone through the players that we have brought in. So your take on Golini and Hill, Saikat?
For me, Golini looks a fantastic character. He needs to prove himself yet. Initially, he looks good, and he generally Golini was a fantastic player for Atlanta in previous season also, and the past 2 3 seasons before that also. But he has a rap with Jasperini, right? That's the reason they bought in Musso from Udinese, who is also a good keeper, and they had to sell Golini. So yeah, so I think it's a good buy. It's not the thing that Atlanta's rejected keeper we are buying, so it's not like that kind of a thing. So yeah, Golini is a good keeper, and I have faith in him that he will be successful because he generally is playing in that back line or a supporting goal for Atlanta, who is a very attacking player, attacking team, right? So he is more exposed to this one is to one situation, and because of his height, like 6 feet 4, I guess 6 foot 4, I guess. So he will be a fantastic player. But one weakness he has, that is he is not so good from the long range shots, because that's we already saw Ziyech one that going in, right. So yeah, I think that's the thing that he needs to be progress on or improve on. But yeah, I think he's under proper guidance under Hugo Lloris. So I think he will be very good keeper. I have faith in him. And now, in terms of Brian Gill, I think for before I go move to Brian Gill, I think Golini was also a fantastic piece of business because it's only a loan and with an option to buy. I think 20 appearances is required for that option to get triggered. So I think that's a very good buy, and I think it's not much more than 15 to 10 million euros, I guess. So I think it is a fantastic piece of business according to me. So that's what, and also he has a proper, proper what to say, a proper exposure to CL football, Champions League football in the past 2 3 seasons, and Atlanta was performing fantastically well. So I think that's a good sign, and that's a good for a backup keeper. And so that's in terms of Golini. And Brian Hill is fantastic player. I generally watched all more or less probably all the games for Spain, and he looks fantastic because his dribbling skills, and one unique thing is he is left-footed and plays off the left wing. So he is fantastic player. The dribbling, the agility, the ball control, the shot also in the final. If you see, there is a footage of him giving a bullet shot which hits the crossbar. So he looks a real talent. And people in the Spanish media, I generally read many articles, and I got many friends of mine who support Barcelona and Real Madrid. So they generally go inside and see La Liga, right? So they also told that the Sevilla fans are very angry because they sold Brian Hill. So he looks a fantastic prospect, and I have a huge expectation upon him. Yeah, like it will take some time to get into use and get into the things, and also to understand this new league, new country where he is moving to at such a young age. So I think it's a fantastic buy, a very good, shrewd piece of business, and there's a huge potential in there. And I think he came to London today, so I think he will be. He's already double jabbed, so it will not be an issue for isolation. I think from tomorrow he may start training, I guess. So that's the player to look out for.
I guess he has to take his medical first, right? He still has to go through his medical and all the process. I still, even if you do your double jab, they will still put you in quarantine for about 5 days before you actually do more or less anything. But you train on your own before you join up.
Because if it is double jab, that's why Romero came into the trainings directly, right? Because he is injured, that's the reason he is not training with the team. He was training personally. So that's the thing. So it's kind of not double jab. It's kind of two doses mixed in one. It's like a community one, right? It's a one jab only, but it's a combination of two. Yeah. So I think yesterday he landed, as far as I remember from the Instagram story. So I think he already has those completed today, and from tomorrow, hopefully he and Harry Kane will be there in the trainings kit. And Romero, I think I've already mentioned in the back three. Romero basically plays in the back three. So I think that Nuno will be playing in the back three in possession. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he will be so much good in the 4-4-2 or 4-4-3 because we haven't seen Romero in the four at the back, right? One time only I saw Romero, that was in Argentina playing the final. So yeah. So I think Romero is a fantastic talent, and I feel very lucky that he came back to Spurs. Very lucky, and I think Romero will be a fantastic player. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it turns out. And Jamie, how do you feel about the three players that we have more or less linked up? Be our player at the moment.
Okay. Galini has promise. But it's more a case of Romero needs to settle into the system. Gil, I'm concerned at the moment. Yes, he has skill, but does he have the physicality for the English game? Is he just? I mean, he looks like a skillful player in the La Liga, but is he just going to come up against some big unit in the Premiership and get just knocked off the ball all the time?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
but
all three of them. I mean, I think, Galini and Romero just have to get used to the style of play. Less so Galini because he has actually been with Man U and Aston Villa previously. But Brian Gill, he's not just got to get used to the play system. I think they've got to beef him up a bit.
Yeah, the physicality of the English game, that's one part of
But
it.
do you don't think that if how he plays, like, so basically he is called as mini Cruyff. Why? Because the reason of his physicality, his looks, and also his control in the ball and the agility. So if he gets bulked up, right, I don't think he will be that much agile.
I'm not saying he. I'm not saying that they turn him into Eric Dyer. please not. I'm just saying. Okay, maybe bulk up is the wrong word. Toughen up.
Toughen up, yeah.
Yeah,
toughen
they have to put some metal along with his skill.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing to point out with Dele Alli. People are saying that he looks, puffed up, shredded, but all his, play and everything is based on his movements, his agility, the way he, get through those channels. So I don't think he looks that much agile nowadays. So I think somewhat to, bulk up, and as he's not young, he's getting older nowadays with each passing season, right? So I don't think that the bulk up needed that much. I don't know why he did that, but the lean and the agility is more important and suited to his play style. That shadow striker role, right? Where his movement.
You think for some reason when I look at Brian Gill, I also think of Luka Modric.
Exactly.
Yeah. It reminds me of him. Yeah, somehow or another. Yeah. And let's get back to what I said. After having three players in, right, and somehow or another.
Before we do it, Eugene, I just got some news that Aaron Ramsdale is coming to Arsenal for 30 million, and he will be the backup keeper.
Oh, okay. Ramsdale. It's confirmed deal?
It's not confirmed, but yeah, several sources are telling it's around. It's going to be done.
Yeah. To tell the truth,
backup keeper is just ridiculous.
I don't know. There's a rumor out there that Leno wants to leave. Yeah, so maybe he's not actually the backup keeper. He might be the replacement for Leno.
Because post our game, right, I went to AFTV because of those videos and how they are reacting, right? So
you saw that.
Yeah. So they were telling that they are very furious with this goalkeeper situation because runners they bought it, right? They are not good enough. and I think they already bought on loan on previous season this Matt Ryan from Brighton, and they left him for free. Okay, this season, so they were not, immensely, and they were also tense because if you remember, Son and Leno collided right
Why
on the
yeah.
initial stages, so they were really tense because they don't have any backup keeper.
No.
Okay, so yeah,
If you
I
went,
think
if you went to AF, if you went to AFTV, you saw them having their meltdown, and they were
yeah.
saying the goal was offside, right, and all the things. And a lot of our Spurs family community were actually sending in super chats and rubbing it in their face.
like a certain young man that we'll be talking to
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, true, yeah. So okay, let's get back to the transfer season review again. Apart from just having players come in, we have actually gotten rid of Toby. Not say gotten rid, lah. Okay, don't say it in such a bad way. Toby has left. Lamela was in a swap deal with Hill. Okay, and in the beginning stages, of course, Gazaniga, Foyt, and of course Rose. Right, Rose because the contract ended. That's another sad story there. We won't go into that. Do you think, Saika, since you haven't been, I think you are the one who needs to vent out all your pent up frustrations and all that, because you haven't been you haven't been on live stream to talk to anybody on this.
Saika, this is we're making an intervention. We are your therapists, and this is your session.
Yes. So, what do you think? Do you think we will be able to get rid of Aurier, Dyer, Sissoko, right? And of course, a few more that's along the way, like Sanchez and all that. Do you think we can really get rid of them, or do you think that they are part of the Nuno's new plan?
So for me, there are many players I want personally to get rid of.
And don't
But
forget Wings.
yeah, but some of them are Daniel Levy trying to get rid of them. That's the most important thing for me. Dyer, Wings, these are English homegrown player for us. They will be filling the homegrown quota, right? So I don't think that now, at least nowadays with UECL, right, in the horizon, I don't think they will sell all those people. Basically, the English homegrown players. Yeah, if a massive bid comes, say for Wings.
Hold on, Saika. Dyer is not homegrown. Dyer is from Portugal.
Okay, Dyer is not
He's not,
homegrown.
yeah. Only
And
Wings is homegrown.
I think he was I think he's played in Portugal, but I think he was born in Germany. He was
Yeah,
he was a British Air Force or Army brat.
Yeah. So that means he wasn't what called brought through the youth ranks in the British game.
He was Sporting Lisbon, I am sure that I know.
Yeah, Sporting Lisbon. Yeah.
Bought him, but I
from Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, we did buy him from Sporting Lisbon, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think Dyer. I'm not sure that there would be a possible suitor for Dyer. I'm not. I can't see it. Okay, for Wings, there was some interest from Southampton and Everton, but that went quiet. I'm not sure, and I don't think that Wings, needed in the squad, to be specific. So I want Wings to go. Sanchez, there are several interests, so I think Sanchez can potentially move on. We want to move on, or we will move on. That needs to be seen. I'm not sure based on whatever the recruitments that we make, and like if any player wants to move on or has to be moved on, there should be a formal bid right on the table. So that has to be coming. That one thing. I think Sissoko is in talks with Trabzonspor, I guess, and maybe no. I think Galatasaray and AC Milan. Okay, these two are the clubs sitting with Sissoko. Or here, I think there will be some potential suitors either from that French league only, or maybe Syria. Okay, so I think Poirier can be moved. Doherty, I don't really fancy, but I'm not sure that people will be trying to pay, buy him or not. And where are others? I don't think it's pretty much it, right?
Yeah,
Or
but
maybe,
okay. Usually, my take is right. Dias has got some kind of mojo magic for new managers, right? Somehow or another, every new manager that comes in, he's the teacher's pet, But of
And
course,
he
not to say, teacher's pet, and not to say, of course, because he speaks Portuguese, right? Jose was Portuguese, Nuno is Portuguese, so don't be surprised. I don't be surprised. Dyer will still be around for more or less one more transfer window.
think
More
Dyer will stay.
serious,
I don't think he will
yeah,
be going. There are no rumors at all for Eric Dyer.
yeah. There's no rumors, and the thing is that look at more concerning is Aurier and Sissoko. Right, more concerning is those two players because of the age, and of course, like Aurier has already said that he doesn't want to play or something like that, and then Sissoko is already close to his we should let him go kind of scenario. He's no more what I call an effective player for us. So, but that is in the end how you say is all more or less sent depending on our director of football, Fabio Paratici. And let's see what Adam has to say here. Adam says that we can send him back to Sporting Lisbon. Yes, that's Dyer. Send him back. Yeah. But in the end of the day, like
can we?
No, the thing is, in the end of the day, the price, if you give the price that Levy wants, right, he will sell. But don't forget now, the price that Levy wants is most probably 10 to 5 million pounds more expensive than any other club's valuation on the players that we want to get rid of. So now I think is the part that comes in is how smart, right, Paratici is going to be when the players that he wants to buy, he might throw in, okay, let's give you Sissoko, or or give you an Aurier by buying one or two players. Okay. I don't think Jamie will have anything much to say on this. Do you, Jamie? No. Okay.
What are we talking about? Paratici? We're talking about Paratici or the
getting rid of Deadwood.
We need to. As to whether we will is another matter. But because you've stated all the stumbling blocks, but I don't think that the Deadwoods are going to be cleared before the season starts. I think it's going to take a couple of transfer windows.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The next pressing question that I need to ask Saika, the Harry Kane saga. How do you feel? This is actually one of the most important questions to all Spurs fans in a very long time.
I was just, seeing the clock and everything, then why that question hasn't come up yet.
Yeah. We leave the best for last.
Yeah. So, see, like for me, whatever the news I'm hearing, like that there is a lucrative offer, right? That's in place for Harry Kane, and the talks went well, and the meeting and everything was fine. So there it was discussed properly that Harry Kane, like City hasn't given you proper respect. You are one of the best strikers in the world. You own Premier League Golden Boot and also the Playmaker of the Year award. So if they buy Grealish for 100 million, you as an England Cup captain and with the potential at your prime, you should be at least 150 million at least. So they haven't brought up yet. We are not interested in their players because of the wage, and also the players don't want to come to us because they're already in Manchester City. Why they want to come to us? Let's be honest here, right? So I don't think that this deal will go through, provided they don't give us only cash. If they give us 150 millions, I think Harry will go. If they don't, Harry will sign a lucrative offer, and there the release clause will be mentioned as 150 millions, or maybe
Actually,
20 million.
no. I'm not talking about that, Saika. I'm talking about he's not turning up for training.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? that is the emotional poker you have.
No, yeah, but then also I went to different stuff, right? So Harry Kane was pending in Bahamas, and he was in the Joe Louis's resort, right? So club already knows where he is, what he is doing, and I don't know that it is the club creating this ruckus, knowing all those things, or is it who that gave the information to Sky Sports that he will be coming on Monday? So there is a gray cloud in there. I am not sure. There's a gray area. Is it Levy, or maybe our peer tactics trying to get against Kane and get behind Levy, or is it the right thing that happened and Kane disrespected, or Charlie Kane rather suggested Kane to disrespect and ignore our training situations or training sessions? I'm not sure. So if in both the cases, as people are saying, right, there should be a deadline on this. So my deadline will be 23rd or 24th of August. If they want, give Harry Kane, sell Harry Kane, then just buy Vlahovic and Lautaro Martinez with that money, right? And if they don't buy and they don't submit an offer on that day, so post that day, Kane should be focusing on Tottenham Hotspur, because this is his club. You have a contract to get, you are getting paid, and you got a contract to respect, right? You are doing a job, and most importantly, I don't think that Kane will underperform. The reason is, with his given age and Alan Shearer record on the he has one set of eyes on Alan Shearer record, right? So each and every season he has to aim for 20 plus goals, barring injuries, going fit. So I don't think if Kane plays, there are several doubts, right? That Kane will not perform because we block a move to City and stuff. But Kane will play for him. He will play for reaching to that Alan Shearer record and breaking it. So I am not at all, under any dilemma that Kane stays or goes wherever he goes. He will aim for that 20 plus goals. That I am sure of.
Yeah, yeah. The performance-wise, we're not going to doubt Kane on it, right? But
Exactly.
the way this saga was handled, which sometimes it really pisses me off, is right. The rumors are coming out now that Kane was, like you said, in a resort owned by Joe Louis. Come on,
Yeah.
if you were in the resort owned by Joe Louis, wouldn't the club know about it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And how wouldn't the club know when he's coming back? And why did the club let all this run wild? You see, so like you were saying, this could be some kind of massive PR stunt done by Mr. Levy himself, right? To deflect the issue now, to tell the fans Kane is leaving, guys, all right? And now he's doing this. So now all the anger, and I don't want to say this word, hate and all that, right, is aimed towards Kane. And all of a sudden, everybody has forgotten about Levy, and Levy is all of a sudden being turned into a saint, And
Yeah.
if Kane does stay for this transfer window, if he does sign an extension his contract with an extra 100K to his pay package, and if they are smart now, right, put in a release clause of 150 million or 120 million for Kane to leave in January or next summer, then that might be the plan. But a lot of us deep down inside, I feel more or less the deal is done. Everything is being played out until we get our two strikers in to cover Kane. Then that news will be released. That's how I feel at the moment, right? Just let me go through some of the messages that's been put out there, Saikat, right? Mr. K says, players want playing time. The younger ones need something to prove, and the older ones need a payday. All right. And of course, let's say what Mr. K says again here. Martinez is another Dybala. It would have happened already, but it hasn't. So it requires a perfect set of circumstances to occur, right? Parent team needs cover and agree transfer fee ain't happening. That's what Mr. K says. We ain't getting Martinez. Guys, like I've been saying before, right? Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. On all our transfer players, it's always we go to that segment again, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Saikat won't get it because Saikat has been missing a lot of our shows recently. It's more or less a meme that I've been doing for some time now on this. Okay. In their day, a lot of hate was thrown towards Kane during those days that he didn't turn up. And sadly enough, the club didn't say anything, right?
Yeah.
Kane released a statement, which was more like a Levy statement, not apologizing directly and saying being hurt by his feelings are hurt because the fans, there was so much hate from the fans and all that. But in the end of the day, he's back at the club now. He's quarantining in the lodge. And of course, surprisingly,
Yeah.
Nuno says it's available for selection. So everybody's going like, what? Right? And to tell the truth, don't be surprised. Kane might make an appearance against M City. Don't be surprised, right? Okay. And okay, let's go. Let's see some statements, some comments from Adam. Adam says that the story about Kane being in the result sounds like a conspiracy theory. To be honest, right? Yes, Mark Swift, love you too. And of course, don't take offense to the word "piss off, mate." It's turned into a term of endearment nowadays. It's a new term of endearment. We have to update you for a while, Saika, on the things that have been happening around, right? And okay, Mr. K says hello to Mark Swift. Mark Swift says hello to Mr. K. Sorry, the other way around. Okay, we're coming up to an hour, and Saika, I think you more or less have another half an hour or so. You have to go for a meeting, right? Yeah. So, as for today, this is our introductory midweek show. I've actually named it the Midweek Show, right? And Saika has graciously says that he will be more or less be on the show, and because I think Sundays are not a good time for you to do shows, right?
Yeah, actually, the reason is I generally work, right? So
Yeah.
the weekends I'm off, and all the load and everything, the other stuff, all those things I do in those 2 days. So it's very difficult for me to come right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, just to let you know, nowadays our Sunday shows, because the season is starting, our format has more or less changed a bit, right? If the game starts late, we'll do a pre-match show. If the game starts early, we'll do a pre-match show, watch along, halftime show, and post-match show, all in one stream. So if you are free on Sundays, right? We do our streams quite long, for about 3 hours.
Definitely free if you're doing a watch along, right? Because whatever the things are there, I will be watching the match. So then I can tune into that part. But if the timings of the match is not corresponding, right, then I have to do some other things so that I can watch the match. So that's how I really manage, right?
So, okay, just to let
So I got some of things to discuss, right? So with Lautaro Martinez, the things that going on, right? There are many people who is saying that he is another Dybala and things will not pan out. I think that this will go through. There are two reasons for it. One is Martinez is getting paid 40K a week, right? So that's not at all good. Another thing is he got 2 years left on the contract. And another thing is Inter have already proposed a very good structured deal, right, from February. But Lautaro is stalling it because he wants to move. Now, given the situation, Hakimi has moved, Lukaku has moved, and you have to also mention that there are terms agreed in principle with Inter Milan before the Lukaku drama happened. So there is already things in place. Now, post Lukaku thing, there is another thing that I heard that the transfer from Manchester United to of Lukaku from Manchester United to Inter was around, I think, 80 millions of euro, if I'm not wrong. Okay,
Lukaku to Chelsea.
No, Lukaku to United from United to Inter Milan.
Lukaku. Oh, you're talking about Lukaku's. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So that fee is still pending. It's not done yet. The structure of the fee is already not paid. So Inter is in very, very, very financial crisis situation, right? So there are reports that they are creating this, fuss around that we don't want to sell this player, we don't want to sell Lautaro and everything. But I think the player will push for a move, and this deal will happen. That I believe because the owner they don't watch football at all. Okay, they just bought it and they just want to run it as a business. Yeah, the Inter fans.
The Inter owners are Chinese.
Okay? Chinese,
yeah. They used to own Jiangsu Suning. Okay, their companies, I think it's called Suning Development. Inter owners are more property developers and all that. When that time they had a lot of money, what they did is they went out to buy Inter. before that, they used to own a Chinese football club. They thought they could integrate it. Then COVID came along, right? The Chinese government stopped all funds leaving the country. That's why the Inter owners cannot support Inter anymore. So they are actually in very, very dire straits, right? They're doing all quick fire sales, right? But the problem is at the moment now, the price has to be right. That's the most important thing. The Lukaku deal, what is going on now, if Chelsea signs Lukaku now, right? After that one big circle where Lukaku went to MU, one big circle, now it comes back to Chelsea. Lukaku on transfer deals, right, is going to be the most expensive player, most money spent on a player throughout his whole career, you see.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, like I said, come back to Martinez and us. Martinez and us at the moment now is like, somehow or another, we are the only one linked to him because, like, more or less, maybe because of Fabio Paratici, okay, with his Italian.
Golini, Lo Celso, and this guy, Romero.
Yeah,
Those are Argentine
and of course,
teammates.
Golini was his teammate in Atalanta, right?
Yeah.
Romero, Lo Celso, countrymate. So he looks like a very good replacement to bring in. But of course, now it depends on how the deal is going to get through. Like I said, while all this is being spent, okay, do you think Kane will still be around? Where do you think Daniel Levy is getting all his money from? There is a rumor out there, right? We are trying to seal the deals for all the strikers before we announce that Kane has been sold. That is the scary part now, you see. That is the scary part.
Like for me, it's not a scary part because I think there will be anyway a backup striker will be there because we already sent Vinicius back to Benfica, right? So there has to be a backup striker. Now that will be Vlahovic or that will be Martinez or that will be someone else. I'm not sure. But if it is Lautaro, because see, whatever the transfer rumors and whatever the transfer we are doing, it's with the big players. It's not like someone you have to Google about. If someone has known football and just follow football, right? Club football, they know all these names, right? So it's not like because the work and the networking that Fabio Paratici has is something of different level, right? So it's not like the Steve Hitchen doing our deals. So it's like Fabio Paratici has a beautiful network, and I really believe in this person, right? That he has, like, if anybody has got the charisma, the convincing power for the agents and everything, I think that would be Fabio Paratici himself because he doesn't have only the contact with the agents and stuff. He also got contact with different clubs, right? Monaco, Sevilla, and all those clubs. So he has all those networks. So it's not like just a normal one-to-one deal. Like he also may be offering or telling that you buy this person, like how Demiral deal happened, right? The Demiral came to Atlanta, and we got Romero once Atlanta started or triggered their buy sell clause, right? Their buy clause. So then how we got Romero from Atlanta. So I think that it will be a nice riding of all those emotions and everything coming into the exciting times ahead. I think. Yeah, at least transfer me to
Yeah,
For
just
me.
like you say, just like you were saying about Martinez, right? That's what Mr. K is saying, right? Martinez will join last day of the transfer window, right? He'll get no preseason and take ages to adapt, right? Levy being too slow, should have wrapped it up sooner. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We always do things in this kind of way, right? Which is actually sometimes it pisses us off. Yeah,
Problem
you
is,
should.
hello?
We don't give time to new players coming in to adapt and acclimatize to the club, to the manager, and your teammates to have it all. And while you are doing it throughout the season, it becomes more difficult because the pressure is high on you. You see.
Yeah.
But what
But
I see now is okay.
For Martinez, I don't blame Levy, right? Because we already got the deal in principle agreed. This Lukaku deal came and hampered our situation. Otherwise, by this week, Martinez would have been our player. Because
No,
of this
but
Lukaku deal, yeah.
the thing I see with Inter is this, right? They have sold Lukaku, right? They will find some free because at the moment now you need money. It doesn't matter. the money you need, like what you're saying about Lukaku going to Chelsea, the money coming from Chelsea is actually going back to pay Manchester United.
Yeah,
Okay,
portion of it.
yeah. It's just like, I'm covering my debts, so at least Manchester United won't come and sue me, right? Because in the end of the day, Inter Milan could be owned by Manchester United because of Lukaku deal, right? Okay, so now if you start selling your players like that, your top players, you let them all go, right? And let's say you recruit at least another 100 million euros or something, right? That will more or less pay for the wages for the rest of the team for the next season. You get what I'm saying? Then after that, right, they will bring in players on the free, strikers on the free, defenders on the free, or cheap rate players to come in just to build the team up. You see, the owners might have to think like that for not letting, in the end of the day, the club go into liquidation. Because if the club goes into liquidation, right, any one of us here can just go and buy it, right? If you're willing to absorb their debts. Don't forget it. When you go to liquidation, it's just a €1 buy-off and you absorb the debts if the court rules it. You get what I'm saying? So I guess what the owners are trying to do, not let it go into that kind of situation. You see? So they're selling off their assets. They don't care. Anything 30, 40 million, 50 million euros, they will sell them off, recruit the cash, right? Build another team. It could be another lousy team, or somehow another the manager that came in is going to bring the team forward.
Also happened with Juventus once a while, right? When they moved back to League 2, I guess.
Juventus was relegated because of financial irregularities or something like that.
Something similar. So I think so. Dzeko already signed for Inter Milan as a replacement for Lukaku, and I think Lautaro Martinez move will go through. I am confident enough. And I think they are looking at Duban Zapata from Atlanta, right? So
no, I'm saying they might even have to look cheaper. They might have to look cheaper. You see, all right? Okay, let's get to a statement from Mr. K. Mr. K, we've known we needed a striker for the last 4 years. Yes, of course. Kane has never had backup for that, or what has the recruitment team been doing for the last 4 years? So that one you got to ask Mr. Hitchen and Mr. Levy on that.
Right? So I think like this we can't do, right? Because till this window, all we were doing was to sign a replacement or a backup for Kane, and we are going for either top prospects or top players. They won't come, right? We already got rejection from Morata and Milik previous year. So everyone, why they will come? Because Kane is one of the top most, not at all striker, but the topmost player in current market, in current condition. So they know that their times are already limited, right? So why they will come? Now what happens is they want someone by Nuno's approval also to play alongside Kane. There lies the more time to play alongside Kane.
No, they have to say that. If you tell a top striker, right, not say world class, top striker to say, you come to Spurs now, right, but I'm going to give you 10 games a season. No top striker is going to come to Spurs. The only way to attract a striker to come to Spurs is say that we're going to let you play alongside Kane, but just in case Kane leaves, you be the one. You get what I'm saying? You be the one to take.
I think Lautaro one is basically to play alongside Kane, because Lautaro can't play with an out-to-out striker. He is like a kind of mold of Suarez type of striker that season, right, where there was a partnership with Sturridge and Suarez. So that was a huge partnership. Same thing happened with Lukaku and Martinez. So he is like someone in and around, right? He is that dynamic person with the work rate and everything, and he needs someone beside him to be the target man, to hold up the ball, so that that person can release him. Like he can be the person that Son was doing, right? That go beyond that striker and just bag in goals, I think.
Yeah.
So I think Lautaro Martinez is basically a recruitment to play alongside Kane. And if we go for Vlahovic is an outward striker. So he will be the direct replacement for Kane. And if Kane goes, I think Vlahovic and Lautaro both will come to Spurs. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
understanding of the situation.
No. That's what you hope for. Very hard to have understanding with Spurs nowadays. It's more or less what we
And
hope for.
also, and also one thing we have to take into consideration, that if we sell Kane first, right, and then the problem, the difficulty will be, then people will know that we have money now, so they will
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
for more. So that's another issue that we have to deal with. So I think if Kane at all goes, there will be different replacements already in place,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that post that Kane can move and we can cash in the money, I
yeah,
guess. So that's
yeah.
the strategy. I think that's the strategy I think Levy will prefer to, or Paratici
Actually,
will.
the Paratici, not Levy now. All the strategies now is up to Paratici. Just big up to John Fitzpatrick. Thanks for joining us today. His first time on our
Please
channel.
subscribe the channel.
Yeah, yeah. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and please smash the like button. Thanks, John. All right. And Jamie, have you
Yes.
anything to add to this Martinez ding dong going on?
If the Lukaku deal is done dusted with Chelsea, they can't let go of all their players, no matter what the financial situation is at Inter Milan. They've got to hang on to some of their players. So it's again we always have these what ifs. So I think the crunch will come. The crunch will come on Sunday with the game against Man City. Whether Kane turns up on the pitch, whether he's on the bench, it'll be a good indicator of what's about to happen. Thank you, Mr. K. Yes, it's more cumulative, Mr. K. Yeah, the pandemic has come to my
Doorstep.
my neck of the woods. So
Yeah.
and also it's rather hot here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And Saika, how we feel now, right? Not say how we feel, how I feel now is very simple. Whatever happens in the transfer window, we are waiting until September the 1st when the transfer window closes. Then we will see the real squad being registered, the 25 players being registered to the Premier League. That is the more or less the squad that Nuno has picked to play on. Right?
Eugene,
yeah,
you're scrolling a different group at the bottom of the message.
Oh dear. sorry.
Okay, that's something else Eugene has an interest in. He's a
Yeah.
libertarian, but today we're talking about Spurs.
Yes, what I'm gonna say. So all the players that come in, right? And if we always sign them late, it will take some time for them to actually gel and to perform. Okay, no player is going to come in and become a Messi straight away or Ronaldo. Everybody needs to have an understanding between the defense, the midfield, the attack. Okay, and a lot of people out there are saying that we need another center back, we need a right winger, we need a right back, and of course we need one more creative midfielder plus one more striker. If Kane is still staying, if Kane leaves, we need two more strikers, right? Which comes out to nearly 6 more players. Do you think we can achieve that within this next 2 weeks?
I think we can. With
Also,
Paratici holding the driving seat, I think we can. It's just, I think, what they are waiting for now. It's just, I think Paratici already started. Today I saw one post, right? He is contacting with Borussia Mönchengladbach player Zakaria, Dennis Zakaria. Another one is Marcelo Brozovic from Inter Milan. And I think another one, I am not sure about that name, but I think he is also, that player is also a good player, but I just forgot that name, right? I think Housem Awa, I guess. I'm not
okay.
sure. So,
Mhm.
you know how Paratici deals, right? He deals with 4 5 players all together, right? So I
Scattergun.
think,
Throw the ball in several directions and hope one of them catches it. So
Yeah.
I think no. I think also it's not about one of the person catches him or not. It's about putting pressure on other agents, right? Because all these players wants to move. Brozovic has only got 1 year left on his contract. A fantastic player. I would like him, right? In Spurs, 26 years of age, fantastic player, and a proper box to box, has that engine in him, right? That we need, that pressing and everything to go through. So I think that would be, I think whoever or anyone, if we buy from these three players, I think will be a proper replacement for Mauso Sissoko. That would be
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
according to
yeah,
Fabrizio Romano.
yeah.
I
Just to have a read a comment from Jordan Fitzpatrick, right? Don't see us getting Martinez. If Kane stays, don't know why we aren't looking at more defenders. To tell the truth, it's not to say we are not looking. Whether we are looking or not looking, we do not know, right? Because nowadays a lot of things go behind the scenes and all that. But in the end of the day, like I said, we'll still have to wait until the transfer window closes before we actually see what our real team is at the time being. And
one of the breaking news is Dennis Serkin has removed all his Tottenham related posts from Instagram, so he will be a Sunderland player, right?
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
player that's got a really good potential.
yeah.
I'm not sure that why we are selling him, but yeah, apparently he doesn't want to sign a contract with us. So I
Yeah.
think there will be some different clause in it, like a sell-on clause, a buyback clause, something of that.
Serkin is going to Bournemouth, right?
Yeah, sorry. No,
Where is he
Dennis
going to?
player. Sunderland.
Oh, he's going to Sunderland. Okay, he's going to Sunderland. Maybe because he feels that he might not have a chance to break into the first team. So young boys
Yeah.
need to play. That's all. And his contract is ending, so he doesn't want to extend his contract, which is quite good to say in a sense, right? Because we keep giving contracts to players who in the end don't play and just paying them wages for no reason, right? And just one more statement from a comment from John Fitzpatrick is: I wonder will Aurier, Sissoko, and Wing still be with us 1st of September?
I believe
There's a high possibility maybe Wings will still be around, and we really, really hope Ori and Sissoko gets out.
so. There is a video brought up from Spurs that Brian Hill joined, right?
Yeah.
So there is an interview with him currently that's uploaded.
Yeah. And okay, guys, since today is our first introductory episode for the midweek show, right? We're not going to do it too long because, of course, this is still considered pre-season kind of scenario.
And we have the World Tour tomorrow morning, our time.
Yeah, we got the World Spurs Tour tomorrow in the morning in our time. We're not going to make this show too long. First of all, I'd like to thank all of those in the comments: Mr. K, Adam, Mark Swift, John Fitzpatrick. Who else do we have? Wayne Bonner, Scott M, Curse. Thanks for your support. And guys, I'll catch up with you the next time. Most probably. The next episode that comes for the midweek show will be longer because more or less we'll be talking about MCT match and then of course the preview for the European Conference League game.
And
I can't
the
even
Wolves
say
game.
it. I can't even say it.
The third
Wolves
tier.
game. No, the Wolves game we will be doing on Sunday itself.
Okay.
Yeah, straight along with the watch along. Yeah.
But no, but think about it. The Euro Conference is the third tier, and if we don't actually make anything of it, there'll be more than 3 tiers.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't even say it. You know what I'm saying? Say not European Conference League. Okay.
Can we just say okay? Well, we're still in
ECL?
Europe.
Yeah, we're still in Europe.
We're still in Europe.
Oh, we just say our European game. All right. Okay. To make it more nicer. It sounds nicer that way. Our European game. And okay, guys, catch up with us next on Sunday. This coming Sunday.
What about tomorrow?
Oh no, I'm talking. Tomorrow's on World Spurs Tour. That's on the Dan's channel, not our channel. World Spurs Tour will be on tomorrow. That will be done on the Yit Kit's channel, right? At our time, 10:30 a.m. So that will be more or less early in the mornings in the UK. 3 a.m. in the UK. And late
mid-evening in the States.
Mid-evening in the States, yeah. Right. Guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for your support.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. And Saikat, don't forget, next Wednesday, I will sit down with you and plan again because next Wednesday, most probably the midweek show, we have a lot of things to talk about. Most probably we will have to do a 2-hour show then. Okay.
Hopefully, Incoming,
Yeah,
not outgoing.
and then no, not incoming. We need incoming and outgoing transfer news.
So I'm getting hopefully incoming also, not only outgoings.
Yeah, yes. Okay, guys, just hang on in the back room for a while I just do the closing. All right, Saika.
See you all. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll see you later.
guys.
Right. Okay, Jamie, thanks for being here. We'll catch up again on Sunday, and Sunday will more or less be very interesting.
It says. Oh, okay, sorry.
For the Spursvation channel, we catch up again on Sunday, and of course, I'll see you again tomorrow for the World Spurs Tour. All right, and let me do the outro.